Okay, back with another video, but before we get started, let's check out the shirt. Yes, that is a New York Nets Julius Erving shirt, so that's the shirt of the day today. As far as the content of the actual video, I want to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves really quick. So if you haven't ever watched this channel or you don't know really anything about me, a little bit of context, I am a huge, well, not a huge Timberwolves fan. I live in Minnesota, so sort of by default I'm a Timberwolves fan. It's not a very fun team to cheer for, but because I'm from here, I feel like I ought to. So really what I'm getting at in this video is that I am a believer in the Timberwolves this year compared to usual. I usually have no confidence in the team. The year we got Jimmy Butler, I was pretty confident that they'd make the playoffs, and they did. But since then, it's been terrible. Before that, it was always terrible for 100 different reasons. But the reason that I'm confident in this team is that I think if they're healthy, this is actually a pretty well constructed roster. And a lot of people have really misconstrued what's happened to the team since Jimmy Butler left. So if you want to look at 2018 to 19, that season, they trade Jimmy Butler for Saric and Covington. And really what happened was Cat didn't actually miss much time, but I think once we got Covington, he only played like 15 to 20 games for the Wolves, and so he was basically the best player in that Jimmy Butler trade, and so we didn't have him, and so the team was worse because of that, and we were, I believe, 36 and 46. So if he's healthy, they're probably more like 39 and 43. Still not great, but not terrible. The team was just constantly changing and changing and changing, and there was never like a consistent lineup. Besides that, 2019 to 20, they traded Wiggins halfway through. They actually traded, I think, all but like two guys on the roster that year, and there was a ton of turnover. And so they got in D'Angelo Russell, and then him and Cat played only, I believe, 5 games together in that 2019 to 20 season. So they barely got a chance to play together. And then this 2020 to 2021 season, the prior season, Cat missed a ton of time. D'Angelo Russell missed a ton of time, so they barely played together. And so for all the people saying like, oh, the Timberwolves have been terrible since Butler left, I get like on paper, yes, they've been terrible, but a huge factor is like every season they've had major injuries hampering the team's success. So I think it's unfair to just be like, yeah, like I've heard people say, yeah, D'Angelo Russell and Cat are just not a winning duo, but they've played 24 total games together in 2 seasons, and in those 24 games, they're 13 and 11. So I think it's pretty miscalculated to say that they're not a winning duo together. Besides that, I just like this team a lot. Malik Beasley has been underrated since he got to Minnesota, but he's been one of the best players on for what his role is. Like, he basically, since he got to Minnesota, has been averaging 20 points a game, 45% from the field, and like 41% from three, which is great percentages for a dude who basically exclusively shoots 3-pointers and occasionally gets some layups or dunks. So I think he'll be a fantastic 6-man if that's where they choose to use him. Anthony Edwards grew from 6'4" to 6'6" in the offseason, which is a huge improvement because they, I think, really want to play him a lot at small forward, so being 2 inches taller will really help him with that. Beverly is a very good defensive presence that they need. They're not going to look to him for really any offense, I don't think, but just he'll be a solid backup point guard, and he can also play in tandem with Russell if they want to play Russell at the 2 and him at the 1. He can guard the harder backcourt player. So yeah, I like that they improved defensively. I think McDaniels and Vanderbilt are a solid power forward duo, not fantastic, but good enough. I feel like Vanderbilt has really solid rebounding. McDaniels has got some good defense, and he's got some versatility guarding 3 or 4 and playing at the 3 or 4 position. And so overall, I think when you run down the roster and you say, okay, D'Lo, Cat, Edwards, Beasley, those are all really solid offensive players, and then defensively you've got Beverly, who's the standout, and then some other decent defenders like Okogie, Prince, Vanderbilt, and McDaniel. So overall, I think it's a team that has some promise and will probably finish around the 8 or 9 seed. So there's my irrational Timberwolves fan take. Hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.